Okay, hello. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to explain this decode very clearly. It's pretty sort of, a lot of people say, well, you're really reaching with this, Dan, but if you follow along, it does make sense. We're looking at Madonna's Ghost Town music video and her song. Um, we've looked at this before, and there's several connections with this back to Guy Ritchie's film Snatch, with the Specials song called Ghost Town as well. It's not the same, it's not a rehash of the same song or anything, it's just got the same title. We've got there's a few things we're going to bear in mind when we do this decode. I'm going to try and explain it anyway. Plus, once we get done with that, I've got some other bits and pieces that I've missed off of other videos as well. So we're going to try and sort of go through some of this other stuff as well that I've got left over from other videos. Right, where to start with this Madonna Ghost Town? Right, I'm not actually going to go through this whole thing and re-reference everything that's going on in terms of the symbolism and all that. It's basically just a post-apocalyptical type scenario here, okay, which then moves into, I guess, the sort of rebirth of man, or the rebirth of the system, okay? The reason why I came back to this, obviously we've looked at it before, is there is a number on a dumpster, and I couldn't remember if it was 58 or 28, because obviously 28 is coming up with our Super Bowl date, and I was like, I better go check that, I can't remember what that was, okay? So anyway, this is just we're just skimming through the video here. You can see the apocalypse, and then these two meeting back up again and restarting the game. They're on the chessboard, yeah, right here somewhere. And so they've restarted the dance, so to speak. And so we get towards the end of the video here. This is the sort of, I guess this is looking, this is kind of a reference towards the end of what has happened, or the new beginning. Everybody's together. Look at this dog, looks very wolfy. So that was an interesting little connection. Just this dog, this wolf dog connection, the return of Dog God, yeah. If we just go a few seconds later, they're going to pan the camera back the other way. We're going to be looking from the other direction, the fresh start. And here's this number that I was just talking about coming up on the dumpster there. So there's that 28 right here, okay? The 28 for the Super Bowl. Now, let me explain how we can get to the Super Bowl coming up as a reference for this 28 maybe, yeah? It's slightly convoluted, but it does make sense, right? So Madonna's release of this, let's see, we've got Madonna's release here of her version of, well, her song called Ghost Town, 3/13/15, okay, the 13th of March 2015. We're going to need to keep that in mind. I'll write it down when we get to the little number jump that we're going to do, right? 3/13/15, and we also need to know the release of the Specials version of the song as well, a song called the same thing, Ghost Town, is the 12th of June 1981. Okay, now there is a clue to this decode at the very start of this video. We have this emergency signal come on, right? An emergency signal, warning signal, right? And if I just play a second of it, we want to get to the next screen as the video it starts.
Please stand by.
Okay, please stand by. Yeah. Oh dear, oh dear. I don't want to play too much of this. I want it to land on this. I just fast forward that a little bit. Here we are. This is the bit we need. a year from now. This is the first little bit they show you. A year from now. Okay, so a year from now, we need a number for a year from now, right? So if our release date, hang on a minute, if our release date was 3/13/2015, we need to change these numbers to make it 1 year on from this date. Okay, so 3/13/16 are the numbers we need. 3/13/16. Now we're going to do a number jump, and we're going to see what numbers pop up with the release of the original. I say the original, it's not the original, it's just a song that has the same title, yeah? So the specials for song called Ghost Town, okay? And we're going to see if there's any connection to the release of Madonna's one a year on. Okay, so this is the release of the specials Ghost Town 6/12/81 through to 2/8 that is on the dumpster 2026, and here's what we've got. Okay, 16313. Okay, if we read this number backwards, you know, so to speak, okay, we can, let me write it down as we read it backwards, yeah? So it's broken up into sections here. We've got the 3, the 13, and the 16. Yeah, I know it's kind of a bit convoluted, but 3, 13, 16 would be 1 year on from the release, which was 3/13/15 of Madonna's song called Ghost Town. So this is her release of the song called Ghost Town. Then we went 1 year on, okay, because it said a year from now at the start of the video. And these numbers are a fairly decent match for these numbers. This is the specials Ghost Town through to 2/8. 2/8 is on the dumpster at the end of that video. I don't know. Is that something or nothing? I don't know. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting, you know. I want to show you a couple other things though. We're going to go through all these number jumps here, and you're going to see, oh, there's some other little bits and pieces to this. So the first thing to note is this is the film Snatch, done by Guy Ritchie, Madonna's husband. Again, we can be crude. Guy Ritchie's piece of Snatch was Madonna, okay? In this film, Vinnie Jones is Bullet Tooth Tony. Now, we've been talking about the silver bullet. So this is kind of, again, very interesting with Vinnie Jones. He is Bullet Tooth Tony, right? I wonder if I can't remember. I think the reference to the bullets though is to gold in his teeth. I don't know. Anyway, this scene here, he's just had, this is Vinnie Jones here, okay? The connection is with Vinnie Jones in the film Bullet Tooth Tony is that I believe in the shot of here when he gets shot, okay, and doesn't die, okay, hence the name Bullet Tooth Tony or whatever. The song in the background playing, I'm pretty sure, is Lucky Star by Madonna. And then there is a further reference to Lucky Star being, he likes that song later on in the film, with another reference to Train Spotting, because we have a guy that was in the film Train Spotting with his head stuck in Bullet Tooth Tony's car window, okay? I know that's really a lot to take in without seeing the pictures, but of course, if you've been watching the channel for quite some time now, you will have I will have gone through this in a couple of videos, you know, way back when. But anyway, this is this reference to Madonna with this character in the film, basically. So there's this reference. Anyway, at this point in the film, this is what ends up playing. If you can just hear the background. That is the Specials Ghost Town. Okay, so this is a connection to Ghost Town with Vinnie Jones, with this film. Again, this film was released again on an 8/23. 8/23 being Kobe Bryant's birthday. And we will look into that again. All that Teen Wolf stuff with Kobe Bryant is just unreal, right? So, let's start going through some of the numbers, because we're going to reference Vinnie Jones. We'll actually go and reference some stuff with Kobe again, and yeah, we'll just go through it, and then I've got some other bits and pieces up there that I've missed. So the first thing is Madonna's birthday through to Kobe's death, 24444 days. Okay, I think I showed that before, but you've got to remember, you know, Kobe is wearing the 24 shirt. Okay, in Teen Wolf, Michael J. Fox is wearing very similar colours, slightly different blue, not that purpley blue, but a blue that fits in with the two diesel trains in the end scene there in Back to the Future. Again, I'll probably just discuss that right at the very end about the Super Bowl and whether that prophecy that's in Back to the Future is going to actually happen or not. I don't know, it's pretty crazy, but so the 24, okay, we've established that the 24 is super duper important, and the 24 is the completion of a cycle. Okay, we have it in our hours of the day, we have it in the three different mathematical cycles, that is the Fibonacci cycle, the Lucas cycle, and what I call the pi cycle. Okay, those are all 24-digit cycles repeating over and over again in the transcendental numbers of Fibonacci, Lucas, or sequences of Fibonacci, Lucas, and pi, the pi sequence as well. Okay, not to be confused with the transcendental number of pi or phi or any of that other stuff. Right. Oh dear, Dan, come on. What interesting stuff have we got here? Well, this is interesting as well. Let's click that. This was the actual release of Madonna's what am I trying to say? Madonna's Ghost Town. Okay, 10 years, 333 days. Fairly interesting. I guess maybe we should click on as well, just to see. That makes that now 9 years, 333 days. Okay, and then I guess you could unclick that, click off of that, and then you could see 3619. Is there anything interesting about that? Not really, apart from it's 3112 composite. So our 312 is showing up. Again, this is the date we're really looking for, remembering it's referenced in Teen Wolf 312, and also something I forgot in Teen Wolf. Let me show. It's a couple of things. We'll just jump to it now while we're on talking about 312 there. This was Styles in the film. Okay, Scott's, Michael J. Fox's buddy. Okay, he has, I think I did mention this in one of the earlier talking about it, but he has the 312 213, you know, numbers in his birthday. So that's well interesting. Also the Levine. Yeah, we're talking about the levee. The Super Bowl is going to be at Levi Stadium. The levee is the dam. There's going to be an Elvis connection here in a minute, because I wanted to check this potential date for Madonna back to Elvis, because of course Elvis dies on Madonna's 19th birthday, so we need to check Elvis as well occasionally. And the fact that the Super Bowl's at Levi Stadium, yeah, anagram, Elvis and Levi, and the Levi 501, and how many times have we seen 51 coming up with this whole thing? Okay, reverse 51 from 9/11 to Christmas, 105 days, reverse that, 501, Levi's jeans, yeah, the gene, yeah, Genesis, rebirth, okay. But anyway, what we right, so we've done the decode with that. This song as well, back in the back catalogue, the music video for this is absolutely loaded as well. I've done decodes on that before as well. But just one little note, just check out the side B, why Friday night, Saturday morning. This is really what we're talking about, is Friday the 13th, that night, the midnight hour into Saturday morning. In fact, in Madonna's video, right at the start of that, there is a reference to the midnight hour. Somewhere she walks out of her little place here, and well, if I could ever find it. Of course not. I think I've gone by it or no. Oh, there it is, look. Right here. The midnight hour. This could be interesting here as well. BOP. BOP 806 or 9. In fact, I want to say, yeah, I'm not going to talk about it right now, but I think 806 Zenith of the Alpha just did a video on 806 and 666. Go check his channel out. Right. Sorry, this is all over the place. I just don't have time to really go through this properly and kind of get everything sorted out. I was going to do it last night, and then I had to junk half of the tabs, and I really haven't got time. I just feel like going to bed right now, and I don't really have time to do this, but I'm trying to get it done so that, because otherwise, if I just let stuff pile up, I'll just have a ton of stuff to try and get through. Dan, you don't have to do videos. Well, I know, but this is Terrence Howard that is in this dude that is in the music video with Madonna there. March 11th, 69. March 11th, 69. I thought I'm going to go through to Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl because he's got a very similar, he's the 10th of March, 94, Bad Bunny is. Okay. I thought I better do that. Lo and behold, 913 comes up. 913 is a dollar bill reference. It's actually quite an interesting dollar bill reference. I don't know, some new people might not have seen this before. This is an old silver certificate again, yeah, and this has the 913 on it. Okay, so if you look at the middle of this, it has the number 1 right here, and it has a very interesting stylized word 1 written there as well. The number 1 is written out, yeah. This is supposed to be an O, an N, and an E, okay, to spell out 1. But it's extremely, like I said, it's extremely stylized, and what it really does is it gives you a number, okay. Well, 613 with a backwards 3, but actually, if you look at this, you'll see that this top part of the design here is a serpent head, and the bottom part, as best as I can think about it, is an owl. It could be a bear. It kind of looks a bit like an Ewok type bear. I don't know, or something. But I think it's supposed to be an owl. Okay. Anyway, what we need to do is we need to rotate the thing that is wise and put that at the top, and then remove the reptilian mind and put it back down below. Okay, do not have this thing controlling us, but let's use wisdom. Okay, and to do that, when you rotate this, you end up with a number which is 319. Okay, 319. So if we go back to this number jump here, we have that 319 just in reverse here. 913, 319 that way. So that I thought was worth mentioning because of all this stuff with the dollar bill. Okay, with the Bad Bunny in Teen Wolf there with the dollar reference right in the window, pretty much in the same spot. And this is what we've been talking about, this idea of silver giving the final blow, or the silver bubble bursting to crash the dollar, which in turn would then revert us back onto, or would then theoretically we should go back to gold and silver as real money after that point. Okay, so just on that note, the Hindenburg disaster, because we've been talking about the bullet, okay, very bullet shaped, silver coloured, so a silver bullet, a big balloon. We're talking about the idea of the price of silver being pushed up by futures contracts, or just make believe, not real silver. Okay, that bubble has to burst. Okay, and so the Hindenburg disaster is quite an interesting idea to attach to that idea of the silver bullet and the bubble bursting. Anyway, to cut a long story short, look at this, LZ129. That would be an interesting number from to crash silver at 129, wouldn't it? But anyway, on the topic of this, if you notice, there are a lot of films where the Zeppelin is referenced in the film. Just two off the top of my head that really spring to mind was Black Sunday, okay, and also A View to a Kill, where Zoran has the Zeppelin that ends up on where the Golden Gate Bridge, okay, the end of the line. So it is interesting that it could be referencing back to this whole thing, and I think I had a number jump in here for this. Was this it? Yes. So this was the disaster, May the 6th. Again, May the 6th is when they opened the Channel Tunnel. So this is another interesting connection as well, isn't it? That French connection. Through to the 131 train date for Madonna. That was the date I wanted to look at first with this. And that number there, 74th star, it was just when I saw that come up, I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, I don't know, did I? Yeah, I don't think I even ran it through to the 8th to see if there was anything interesting with that. I don't think there actually was anything interesting with it, because the thought has also crossed my mind that silver actually crashes before. It could crash anytime really. It just needs to get to the right number, I suppose. What about the 13th here? Really checking this stuff properly. That's not probably going to be anything. No. And let's do this date as well. Lupercalia. No. Okay, so see, it doesn't always come out interesting. It was just that the 131 with the 131 train, okay, was fairly interesting. Okay. That's without the thing. So that obviously works for the, let's click on, this obviously will work for the 1st of February as well. So yeah, anyway, kind of interesting stuff. I guess we should have been looking at all this other stuff as well on here as well to see if it was a whatever. Anyway, I thought I'd better mention the Hindenburg. Okay, I haven't really had time to have a deep dive into that yet. It's just a thought process there at the minute. Madonna train 6226. This will be important in just a minute. There was the 129 to see if there was anything interesting with that particular number. 97 composite, 79 gold. Is there anything else crazy with that? Not really. Anyway, I actually like 131, 113, or 155 even. I don't know. Anyway, right now we're really jumping about. We're jumped onto Elvis here. This is Elvis's birthday through to 2/1/26. Okay, 2/1/26. It's 91 years, 25 days. We're going to see the 25 really start popping up quite a bit here in a minute. And bear that in mind because that's the cup of Christ. Okay, I guess you call it cup of Christ. It's the vessel, the chalice. Okay, so 52. Don't know how many times I've drawn this out. Okay, you just join across the top here. Now that's a cup, yeah, a chalice, yeah, and of course you can tip that the other way, and it would be 25. Okay, and that would be, there's your 5. And there's your upside down chalice. Okay, so 2552, super interesting with this thing, the O. And then again on the dartboard, that is the outer ring, the gateway into the red eye. Let me show you on the dartboard. Hang on a minute, let's get rid of that. I think I've got a dartboard up here somewhere. It's been a while since we've done the dartboard stuff, but see this green ring here? This is your 25. Yeah, to the bullseye, to the red eye is 50. Okay, so this 25, super duper important because that's the gateway into the metaphysical, right? While we're on the dartboard, I guess I'll just show you some stuff because I haven't done the dartboard for donkey's years now, seems like. And there was something actually with let me show you Charlie Kirk's birthday, the 14th of October. Now look what it crosses with. Whenever I do the dartboard, we kind of look for stuff that's sort of symmetrical or, you know, makes a cross or whatever. 9/11 on this axis here, crossing with Charlie Kirk, yes. And when did he die? The day before 9/11. Okay. 9/10. So this is again, you know, so there's stuff like this in the dartboard that's just crazy, you know. And then we've got, I don't know, what would I show you next? Here is Diana's death here. Okay, read it backwards. The 31st of August, which again, that crosses with 5. The number 5, super important with the metaphysical, the feminine, and 1 and 7, her birthday as well. Yeah, the 1st of July. There's just stuff in here that's, you know, I mean, it's nuts, right? So I've got a lot of old D codes on the dartboard. There's something. Oh, here's Madonna here. Here's her numbers 861, which of course cross over to pi numbers here, 314, 413, whichever way you want to mix those things up. And so then you can start sort of crossing and seeing, you know, well, what matches up with that, you know. And actually, I think it would come down through here. Okay, if I'm getting that right. I think that's right. Yeah, I feel like that's right. Doesn't look quite square, does it? But anyway, you can see we were talking about the 31st into the 1st of February. Yeah, quite interesting. And we're going to see several more 2-5 references with Madonna as well. Chalice references. Yeah, 2-7. We're going to see another connection with 2-7 as well. So yeah, again, interesting. And I mean, you can wangle this thing about, but we'll keep that 25 reference in mind and the 27 reference in mind. 27 is going to show up again in a minute as well. Anyway, enough of that, right? Let's enough of that. Let's look at some other number jumps here. So I want to do the Vinnie Jones one. Where's Vinnie Jones here? Vinnie Jones, right? His birthday. Again, he's got a 1-5 birthday number, right? 1965. Don't forget, he was in Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels as well, right? I mean, he's actually had some quite interesting film roles. Let's see from his birthday through to this 31st day with Madonna, and of course it'll work for the first as well if you unclick this and click on a day. Okay, so just however you want to wangle it. Let's click it. Look at this. The 22,500 prime 25. Oh dear. Yes, that is crazy. What's this number jump I've got here? Okay, so jump off of Vinnie Jones now. Remember, he was our connection with the ghost town in Snatch. Anyway, let's jump off of that and let's look at, this is Mary Steenburgen. She's playing Clara Clayton in Back to the Future. 2853. Okay, and so let's see. We've got a couple of number jumps for her. This is the first one to that 2-7 date, the day before the Super Bowl. So I don't know. This is a 26-6-2. This is a train Madonna reference again with the 26s. Remember also that 26, 2 times 13, 213, 2 times 13 is 26. I don't know. And did I mention old Terrence Howard did the ridiculous, what was it again? 1 times 1 is 2 BS. Again, 112 is Fibonacci, the start of the Fibonacci sequence, 112. And it would also be very interesting if Madonna did croak in the middle of the night and they referenced the 31st of January and the 1st of February. 1, 2, 2, 1. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, where was we at? Mary Steenburgen. Come on, back to Steenburgen. I can call her Stein. So we had her birthday through to, this is the day before Super Bowl, and then we had, I did her birthday through to the night of the thunderstorm, because the night of the thunderstorm is 88 days through to 2-8. Okay, if that makes sense. In just a normal year, if you went from the 12th of November through 88 days, would take you through to 2-8 the following year. Okay, but anyway, we go from her birthday to the night of the thunderstorm in Back to the Future 1955. It's 1007, which again, this is our, look at those two numbers that we just looked at on the blooming dartboard there with Madonna, the 27, which is the day before, and it's tying into this to Mary Steenburgen, and then again the 17 to do with the to do with the temple, yeah, to do with Diana, right? Her birthday. So crazy. What else we got here? I feel like I've missed something out of here. We'll go back through it all in just a second. 8/26/2023. I'll tell you what this is. This again is fairly interesting as well. This is the last time. Actually, I've got it right here. Am I? Where is it? Nope. This is the last time that the Rams played the Broncos. So this is what we're looking at, or at least this is what I would call the Back to the Future prophecy I think gives us for the Super Bowl final is the Rams versus the Broncos, and the Broncos are going to lose. Okay, the Rams should win. This is the last time I played. Look, we've got clock tower number here, 41 to the Broncos. Interesting. Look at the date, August 26, 23. I'm assuming that is the date of the game. Anyway, that's the date I'm using. It's right there. August the 26th, 23 through to 2/13. That was the date I really want to look at. Read that number backwards. Yeah, 93 or, well, 903, but the 93 there, or read it backwards. 30/30th of September. This is the Hoover Dam's birthday. This is the day we're looking at for the Hoover Dam falling down. Okay, the 13th of February. Unclick. We've got the White Wedding 9/2 reference there, which is pretty interesting. What have we got for? We can go, yeah, we can make that palindromic there with the 8/9, 9/8. Again, the Queen's death. Okay. So this is fairly interesting again, with a reference to the Queen dying, another Queen dying there. What else we got here? Do. So we did all that. We did that. Done. Oh, I guess I had that in there. No, that was that. Yeah. What else? Oh, yeah. The other thing about that, before I forget, I guess I had that in there twice or whatever. I feel like I was on. It doesn't matter. Anyway, the other interesting thing about this, 8/26/23 through to the 1st of February again, is if you rotate that number, that's Madonna's birthday. That would make that 168 if it was rotated. Kind of interesting as well. I guess we could look at all these other blooming things as well, but I want to remind people about this as well, with the whole Super Bowl thing, with the Donald Trump 88022, the text thing, you know. Okay. That's also kind of interesting. Okay, and what was this? Yeah, so if we went back to this, okay, and we looked at the 8th, okay, and we've got the 898 popping up here. Now we go to, so that's the last time the Broncos Rams played through to Super Bowl. Now let's look at from 9/11 through to the 9/31 date for Madonna, and we get the same 898. It's just got the 0 in there. Junk the 0 out of the way. Right. So that was an interesting matchup there as well, I thought. Well, what else is there here? Coming out. Okay, there was a couple other things I forgot to show you in. Let's go back to Teen. Why don't I jump back to Teen Wolf now? Sorry, this is all over the place, but if you've watched the last several videos, you'll be keeping up with this fairly decent. Oh dear, what was going on here now? Okay. So again, with that 25 reference, remember the baddie dude in the film is this dude with the 25 shirt. Okay, so recall that. And another thing I wanted to mention as well about this, and the Denver connection, is that Denver, the Broncos, used to wear a much darker orange, a reddish orange. Okay, because if you notice I don't know if this is deliberate or not at the start of Back to the Future, but when you look at the Denver clock at the start of Back to the Future, which is just right here, when you look at this clock, oh no, let's get the. When you look at this clock, it's very, very red. The colours with the Denver here is extremely red. Okay, now I don't know if they were necessarily that red, that dark of a red colour, but it is interesting. This is either, I don't know, maybe this is deliberately done in a red colour, because they did change a lot of the props in Back to the Future. You know, like even the speedometer is specially done in the DeLorean, because cars back then, the speedometer did not go up to high enough at the 88 miles an hour. So they went to a lot of trouble doing all the little odds and sods in the background of this film. I don't know if they've changed the colour of this, whether it's just the film's come out this colour, but for sure the old Denver kit used to be much more reddy orange than orange, you know, than the bright orange it is now. So that is one thing to just note. And again, the D on there, and again in Teen Wolf, very red, well, it is red, and they're, you know, they use the letter D as well, the dragons do. Okay, so there's the 25. This is what I wanted to show you in here. Now, where's the number? I think I got it written down actually. This is how professional I am. It was actually at 125.35. 125.35. I've got to go back. Okay, so this is the final part of the game here. I don't know if it. Yeah, we've gone by it. Hang on. So this is the final part of the game where number 25 actually takes down, fouls Marty Scott. Okay, and the time is down to 0. He just gets fouled right at 0. So he's got to take his free throws here in just a second. But look at the score. Read that score backwards and just get rid of that 0. 155. Remember, that was what I showed you in the last video, is our number jump from 911 to 213. 155. And then, of course, we don't have to go through it, but he's going to make his 2 free throws, and so his will go up to 51 and then 52. 52 again. Okay? 25, 52, yeah? Remember, everything. One more thing to remember is that on the dollar bill, the quarter is referenced. The quarter coin. Remember, that's the silver coin. It's a connection back to the moon. Okay? Silver moon. So again, the 125 for silver, 251 is on. That's also the same set of numbers on the dollar bill, but it's kind of interesting. It could be that could be a number it gets to as well, 125. I don't know. Right, what else? Hang on a minute. What else have I forgotten on here? I think that's everything. I wanted to just reference back to, remember Arkar left a comment about the Silver Crush. Not the silver. Why do I keep calling it the Silver Crush? The Orange Crush defense with the Broncos. Okay, the Orange Crush is a soft drink. Okay, it's a soda. Okay, and so I, off the back of that comment, I've been and checked out the guy that kind of came up with the formula for Orange Crush, or at least the guy that's sort of recognised as sort of the creator of the sort of version of it that we drink today or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, this is the dude that comes up with it all. Neil Ward. Okay. Now look at his birthday. November the 12th. That is the night of the thunderstorm again. Okay. 1882. So he comes up with this. The connections. He's married to a McAdams on November the 7th. You know, the numbers are just crazy, right? So he partnered with a Clayton J. Howell, and Clayton again, Clayton Ravine. Look, when they incorporated the Orange Crush Company, 816, Madonna's birthday numbers, Madonna's birthday essentially, 1916. You know, I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. Second marriage, August the 25th. There's our 825 numbers at the start of Back to the Future that connects to the Broncos as well. Ah dear. And then we've got 113 with that numerology, October the 13th, which again, I was wondering about 113 being a number for them to crash silver at, because of the connection back to the 30th prime, and that connection then back to the 30 pieces of silver that Judas sold out Jesus for. Yeah, so I don't know, lots and lots to think about, but this is just, it's just interesting, isn't it? The Orange Crush, and then the defense in falling down. I'm trying to think what else I've forgotten. My voice is about to go as well. All that. Madonna's Ghost Town. Oh dear. I was trying to think. I feel like there was something I've forgotten. No, I think I've done everything pretty much. Yeah, that is everything. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a day. Alright, thanks for watching. Right, I'll catch you on another video here pretty soon. I'm pretty busy for several days, so I don't know if I'll be doing a video for a day or two or whatever. But I am really looking forward to Sunday's 2 games, and we'll see whether this, you know, whether this scene here plays out for the Super Bowl. Yeah, in San Francisco. Here's the wings for the Seahawks. This is the Seahawk, silver coloured. This is the first train hitting the Seahawk. This is the game coming up now that we're gonna, you know, this weekend. And then will we see in the actual Super Bowl? Let's go back a bit. What will we see? Oh, jeez, come on, Dan. I want a shot here, yeah. And then we have another Rams game. That will be the actual Super Bowl game. Okay. Also smashing up a connection with this thing, and that connection is, if we can get to it. If we can get to it, Dan, come on. Gotta go past. So 2 trains, 2 bits of similar, 2 ideas there with the DeLorean being smashed, and this thing, the license plate, the Broncos colours here, the last, that is it right there, the final game. I don't really have much for the Patriots. Obviously the Patriots have very good symbolism for the DeLorean as well, but I'm leaving it there. It'll be interesting to see, won't it? I'm calling it Back to the Future Super Bowl prophecy now. That's what I keep saying to my daughter anyway. Oh dear. She's every time I say to her, it's gonna be the Broncos Rams in the final. She's like, no, it can't be. They are rubbish. I don't know how that is even possible, because they are the underdogs. Interesting, isn't it? The underdogs. Okay. Thanks for watching. Alright, cheers. Bye.